balmy shores of sunny Florida to the cold winds of Chicago and everywhere in between, you're watching the Red Wimet Show, live, coast to coast. Talk of the town, Mr. Red Wimet.
Hello, folks. Hey, Mr. Price, William Price. How you doing, buddy? Now, see this new thing we got going now? It tells me, it's got a little sign by you, and it tells me which ones are on their cell phones, and it tells me which ones are actually on their computers or some other device. But anyway, Rhonda, how you doing? Christina, how you doing? Jim Magnifici, hey, buddy. So we have an interesting story today. By the way, my name is Red Wimet, and today is December 8th, 2025. A lot of O's in there, huh? BSJ, how you doing? Well, we all say hi to you. I think I do anyway. Good to see you, Gordon. Tim, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're healing up. We're getting close to that time of the year, Christmas. But anyway, this is a real historical story, as far as I'm concerned. It's got a lot to do with history. And how you doing, Joe? Good afternoon. Sunny and 30 degrees. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right now, it's 56 degrees here. I'm freezing my butt off. Not used to this. And a happy holidays to you and yours also. I'm good to see you. I'm happy to see you too. You're welcome, Tim. I want to see you heal up, guy. Anyhow, the way this goes is Wilie Bioff, Bioff, was a Jewish gangster, but a Chicago pimp. And this is back in the 20s. And he was evidently good at his job because Al Capone put him with Frank Nitti. And Nitti sent him out to California. And he got with a man by the name of George Brown, Browne. George Brown was president of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. So, with Johnny Roselli's help, Wilie started extorting money from the studios, making them pay movie studios. This was the big scam over Hollywood. They added some things onto this too, aside from that. Once they got everybody else, they started out with the electricians, but once they got the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, that was just about everybody. And like I said, Roselli helped them. they eventually became the collectors for the whole syndicate-controlled unions in Hollywood, which is just about everything they had. I mean, there wasn't too much. This is all good and well. As a matter of fact, Wilie used to stay at the Riviera Casino, and he was very good friends with some of the people out there. But what happened was he got indicted. And when he got indicted, it was for income tax. I don't know what's the matter with these people. I mean, and believe it or not, that was before Al Capone got indicted. He was indicted in 1943. But it was, rather than take the fall, he turned on everybody. Frank Nitti committed suicide after he heard his testimony. He said, I'm not going back to prison. But everybody else involved with the whole scheme, they all took the fall. He took a little bit of a fall too, but it wasn't that bad. But can you imagine? He brought in millions and millions for the outfit and only kept a few $100,000 for himself. But he also planted his flag. He planted his flag out in Arizona. And that's as far back. I've heard about Phoenix, Arizona for a long time. And that's as far back as I know of anybody going out there in the 30s and 40s. But that's the way it was. One of the things he came up with was also Tony Accardo had a piece of what he came up with, but he skated on the whole thing. The guys that took the beatings were Jake Guzik and some of the other people. They were back in the Capone thing. But Johnny Roselli took a slap for that too. But what happened is they started, one of the unions that they started was the Motion Picture Projectionist Union, which was really a thing in Chicago, a very big thing in Chicago. And Tony Accardo had a piece of it. And yes, Tim, you're right. The Projectionist Union. But that's it. That's what it was. And his son also had Accardo's son was I don't know, he was an officer in the union. Smoke that like button. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm doing good. A little chilly, but I'm doing good. Tim, that's a whole other story, the Friars Club scandal. That's got nothing to do with this. I'm talking about Wilie Bioff. But anyway, it went the way it went. And a lot of people started going to jail. And he went too, but he got out early. And when he got out early, he didn't come back to Chicago. He stayed out in Arizona. And he actually got another name in Arizona. It was one of those William Nelson assumed name, and he was hiding. But he worked for Gus Greenbaum. I didn't know Gus Greenbaum was Chicago. He was part of the Chicago mob. I thought maybe he was part of the New Yorker. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now, and I can't. But Meyer Lansky. I thought he was his man, but really he was Chicago's man. And the Riviera was pretty big at that time. But old Willie, William Nelson, he was going along pretty good out in Arizona. He was actually getting along with Barry Goldwater, Senator Goldwater at that time. And eventually, when his friends or associates got out of prison on November 4th, 1955, Bioff was assassinated through the bombing of his vehicle. He walked out of his house one day, and when he did, he climbed into his truck, and I evidently had a pickup truck, and they used an extra amount of dynamite. There were pieces of the truck and him for 3 or 4 houses away. There was nothing left. Humpty Dumpty took the big fall. There was nothing left to identify him. And that's the way it was. Anyhow, that is the story kind of in a nutshell. But from the studios, he made millions for the outfit. Only kept a few $100,000 for himself. Lauren, pardon updates finally. Hernandez got 15 years in prison. DUIs. Andrew Jackson changed. Okay. Does this have anything to do with the show? Lauren? No? Well, if anybody was amused, I'm glad. So we kind of have an open forum here. Any questions? Hey, Tommy, how you doing, buddy? Tommy Bridges. One of the interesting things about this is it did touch my life a little bit. And the way it touched my life a little bit was Marshall Caifano was telling me about it. And I didn't pay much attention back then. But when I was reading about it and Marshall's name came up, and Marshall was a close friend of Greenbaum's, Gus Greenbaum. So I remembered something. When I send people out to Las Vegas, I comped them to go to Las Vegas. Marshall made the arrangements. And when that happened, the first time it was at Circus. I believe I've talked about that once before. But there was a couple more times where it was at the Riviera. And the only reason I know for sure, I mean, aside from people coming back and telling me what they did, Don Rickles was at the Riviera. There was a lot of things that happened at the Riviera. But Marshall made the arrangements with a phone call. And that means he knew people that still worked there years later, because this was in 1973, 74, 75, in that area. But I would get the bill, not for the hotel room, for the taxes. They would pay everything, but they wouldn't pay the tax on what was owed. So I'd get a bill for like maybe $8 or something like that and write them a check. Very seldom was it ever at the Stardust. Everybody I comped never went there. And Dave, I just talked about that. He did cooperate. It's not a matter of cooperating. He flipped. He said, I'm not going to jail. But he wound up going anyway. He got a lighter sentence. But it wasn't the type of thing where he cooperated. His income tax evasion, he brought it on everybody else. He was the one that was, big on the flash. But he was also big on the big flash, where he was blown to smithereens, nothing left of him. Yes, he testified against Paul Rica and others. I know after he testified, that was one of the reasons Frank Nitti committed suicide, because it was so damning. He knew he was going to go away. And he already did a prison term. He just couldn't do it again. It's the way it was. Hiya, Joe. Joe, you need to do a show on the mob and their connections to politicians. I don't know who were the biggest crooks, the outfit or the politicians. Really, the politicians that I know of. I mean, the ones that I really know of, if you want to go back and talk about some of them, Governor Jim Thompson, he was a crook. He was a crook when he was an attorney, when he was a prosecutor. He always was a crook. And I just happened to be there when he was almost arrested. There was a fight between his security guys because he had IBI security and he was governor. And Chcago PD got him in a sting at the Ohio Hotel in Ohio. So downtown. It was really bad. But I actually witnessed it. I mean, these are things that I witnessed. Nothing that I've read about. I don't think there's anything written about it. He lived over on Larrabee Court. Excuse me. He lived over on Larrabee Court. Out, close to Old Town. Separated from his wife. But all the politicians, they all made big money. And right now, it's a total different situation. The politicians we have now, they all pretend they're doing their job. And in the meantime, they're making money from stocks and other things that they're taking advantage of because of their position as public servants. But that's been going on for a long time. A long, long time. Season's greetings, Executive Outcomes USA. How you doing, Executive Outfit? Outcomes, Executive Outcomes USA. Season's greetings to you. I want to see everybody have a good Christmas this year. I'm hoping we all had a good Thanksgiving. I did. I had a real good Thanksgiving. So, anywho, that was the end of him. But like I said, he had some very heavy connections with different mobsters. It was getting that way. You're most welcome, Executive Outcomes USA. And 1973, you changed your moniker. It's 420. Okay, thanks for the reminder. So that was one major scam that I knew about, but I really didn't know about Wilie. I just didn't know about him. I didn't know he was a part of it. I'd always known about the Motion Picture Projectors Union, and I know about the Chcago unions. I know that during the movie The Offer, they made it sound like, I don't know, the New York mob controlled the studios, and that wasn't true at all. I believe that Paul Ricca and Tony Accardo were the architect of extortion on the studios. And Jane Weaver, late again as usual. Yes, and I can tell you, you're on a smartphone. Now it shows me, folks. It shows me who's on a smartphone and who isn't. It's got a little thingy there. The crowd, red. I'm convinced YouTube has changed the chat process, and not for the better. They are who they are. And as much as people complain about them, and I'm not exactly happy with them, but as much as people complain about them, what good does it do? It's their show. I'm using their platform. You're watching their platform. That's the way it was. Goff, as I said earlier, when Wilie Bioff got out there, he teamed up with Johnny Roselli for this whole thing. Oh. Red, did I know Tony Pacenti? I think that's what you're trying to say. He said Tony Accardo told him Rico was always the boss. I don't know. Did you read that in a book someplace? Because Rico was the boss, but so was Accardo. They were equal. It's just that Rico went out and took the heat for a while. Accardo really didn't like taking the heat. He put somebody else in there. Well, I have to tell you something. I'm on YouTube, but 99% of the different things that I see that other people are doing on YouTube, it's lies. It's bullshit. It's lies. They lie a lot. That's a common thing, especially on this genre. It's one of these things where people, if they don't know the answer, they make it up. Or if they heard it, so they might be polite enough to say, sources tell me, or my sources tell me. But the truth of the matter is, the facts are the facts. Some of my information comes directly from people like Caifano, who was around, who did it. Lies equal views equals money. Yeah, that's what it does. That's what it's really all about. And honestly, I got to tell you, I'm not doing that, guy. I'm not going to do it either. Chain Weaver, the reason you're getting two notices is it's in two different formats. One is the one you just made a comment on, your smartphone, and the other format is on a computer. But that's the way it is. A lot of mob guys retired to Arizona. Yeah, they did. But, you know, this guy was kind of a pioneer out there. I mean, he went out there in the 30s. We're not talking about the 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, the first time I ever heard about Arizona was Joey Hansen. And later on, I heard about different things at Emo Vasi and things like that that happened out there. But I really didn't know that much about it back in the day. I know much more about it now. Red, did you see the Bears yesterday? It was a real gunfight. The Bears nearly won. Nearly. I heard they got pummeled. A lot of people were crying about that one. No, I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. I have not watched an NFL game since the NFL went crazy with expansion teams and everything else. I just don't care to watch it. I was a diehard Bears fan for years, maybe 20 years, better than 20, but never missed a game. Some I actually went to see at Soldiers Field. But the truth of the matter is, after, what was it, 1990, I gave up. When there was expanding teams, Jacksonville Jaguars, they did the Titans and Memphis and some of the other teams. I said, this is it. I mean, we're going to have football every day of the week. Monday Night Football will be a thing of the past. It'll be there, but it won't be Monday Night Football. And Thursday Night Football, it won't be that rare. It'll be every Thursday night. Jim Magnifici, vertical format screen is hard to read comments. Also doesn't show the comments made on the horizontal screen and vice versa. No, it doesn't. It's a whole different format. And I can't run one without the other. If I try and do one, it won't let me start. It just won't. So I can't do one without the other. Do I prefer having the one that's on the format for the computer? Yes, I do. I'm looking at the little screen off on the left here to me, and you can't see it, but it has me squeezed. all you see is my face, and you don't see everything behind me. That's the way it is. Tim Peroni, Bears game was close. The only thing I know about close is horseshoes and hand grenades. They're close. I don't know what we're going to do about this. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. Jim, yeah, YouTube changed it. I didn't change it. It scooped me up. It gave me a hard time. But it's their company. I mean, I'm actually using their format. And you're actually using it too by watching me or watching anything else. So it's the only show in town. I don't believe in TikTok. I'm not going to take you folks over to Patreon and ask you to pay to watch me. No, it's not going to work that way. Sorry. But YouTube is what it is. Okay, this is better. Switch to PC version instead of cell phone version. You like it, don't you, Gordio? It is. It's a lot better. It really is. The crowd. Red, I agree. Football was much better when it had players like Roy Nitschke, Dick Butkus. Yeah, Dick Butkus was really good. Actually, I don't know if you remember the crowd or Bill Kirschmeyer, but there was a player by the name of Rick Caceres, and when he retired from football, he opened up a bowling alley, and he was the first really professional football player I ever met in his bowling alley. Nice guy, but it's very interesting. He was a good person. And I really liked a lot of that Bears team in '85. You know, they were all great. Fred Hampton, McMahon, Singletary, all of them. Why do I remember all their names? Tomczak. We had 4 quarterbacks that season, but I was a diehard fan. Tim, you would like to see me do a show on the Friars Club scandal. I might do it. Back to the football. Back in the day, those players were not making any money. They made practically nothing. I remember seeing Mike Ditka in an old leather helmet, and he was playing football for the Bears back then. And his pay was like really garbage. I mean, he came a long way when he became a coach, and he did a heck of a job with that 85 team, too. He really did. Scott H., how you doing, buddy? 2025. I haven't watched NFL since that black clown kneeled. To me, that meant the NFL kneeled to workness. The NFL kneel. I don't know. A lot of people didn't watch it after that, and a lot of people didn't watch it because of the halftime shows too. Some people say that the halftime shows and some of the players are very racial, and they're making a statement. And I believe that's the way it was through COVID. Isn't that when we had the players kneeling? Yes, Scott, the woke society. The woke society that I'm not a part of. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just not part of it. I didn't want to be. And guess what? I'm not. Oh, that's the way it is. Yes, that name rings a bell, but it should. So I take it most of you folks watch the football game. You watched the Packers beat up on our old Bears. I actually saw a cartoon where it was a Packer punching a bear, and the bear was taking a beating. It was bad. Scott 8 says, yeah, they put the race crap in the end zone. I'm not part of that either. There's a lot of people that aren't. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't part of the woke society, or they aren't part of the politically correct society. The news tries to make, and other people try to say, everybody. No, not everybody. Maybe the people you want to talk about or somebody else wants to talk about. I'm not that way. I am who I am. And Tommy Bridges agrees. Kilpatrick ruined football for me. Yeah, it did. It ruined it for a lot of people. Now that sports gambling is legal in Illinois, most of the advertising is gambling related. I don't doubt that. It's sad but true. Executive Outcomes USA. No woke society in Lake of the Ozarks. We don't tolerate rude behavior from anybody. I know. And that's a good place to be too. Lake of the Ozarks is nice. I've only been there a few times, but I liked it. Liked it a lot. Anywho. So, and as a result, look what happened. What happened to Fox Studios? What happened to RKO? What happened to MGM? What happened to all of our studios? I mean, there's a lot of them. Warner Brothers. They're all gone. They don't do what they used to do. They can't. All these independent people are making movies, and then maybe they'll sell them to Netflix, or maybe they'll sell them to somebody else, But they have some distribution rights, but the big studios, they aren't anymore. Universal, even Disney, who is really, really big. I don't like Disney, but they were very, very big. They're gone. They're there, but they're not making the kind of money. They have to diversify in order to get their money. There we go, Kraut. You are so graphic the way you speak. Liberalism is the turd in the punch bowl of society, I suppose. That sounds like William Faulkner. Matt Perry, the outfit rigged Spilacio's trial in 1983, correct? It shows he was still valued and even, in 83. I don't know if the outfit, I mean, nobody, Tony did things on his own. The outfit didn't, get together and say, okay, we need to save Tony Spilaccio. I mean, you were on your own. You did it yourself. And he did a lot of things himself. And unfortunately, that trial of where he was on trial with Mario and Sam DiStefano, and that was back in 73, I believe. He got off. Mario went to prison, and Sam got murdered. And that was Sam's big mouth. Scott H. Hollywood is dead. They don't make movies anymore. No, I just described it. I mean, most of the people are independent producers. And even the one that is going to be made about, or it is made, and they're separating it right now with about the Kennedy assassination with John Travolta and everybody else. It's that's independent. And whoever it goes to, we don't even know yet who it's going to go to. So it is what it is. Maybe I should write a book too. I think you should. I think everybody should write a book. A lot are made in Georgia. There's a lot made in the studios in Orlando. They're using the studios. And Universal, MGM has their own studios there. A lot of people have their own studios in Orlando now. So they're using those. Timothy Foster. How you doing, Tim? Hello, Red. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing as best as I can for a man in my condition. Good to see you, Tim. Hey, guys, hit that like button. Come on. I need all the help I can get. Tim, I can see that you're on a smartphone. No, I'm not psychic. This is the new format. And you're not 17. I don't know where you came up with that number. Bill Kirschmeyer, the crowd. Maybe you should write a book too. I'm all for that guy. I really am. My book, What Not to Do and Why Not to Do It. That's kind of like my title for my book, Nobody Cares and What I Did About It, which I've sold a lot of copies. I've actually was shipping some today, and they were autographed copies. But when I look on Amazon, for all the copies that I've sold, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands, okay? And out of those hundreds of thousands, there's only like 137 reviews on the book. That's just the way it was. Any words about Howard Hughes? Yeah, he was part of that whole clique. He was back in the 20s. He was doing his movies and everything else, and it's really he went to Vegas and did his things. He was part of that whole crowd. You bought it over a year ago, and it's a good read. Are you an Amazon customer, Gordio? If you are, you didn't have to buy it from Amazon, but if you did, just go there and write a review, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't really care. I do care, but I'm kind of pushing it, hoping you do it. When I do, I'll send you the manuscript before it's published. And I'd be honored if you would write the foreword. I'd be glad to. You bought it from me. I autographed it then. And honestly, buddy, okay. Yeah, I remember Sean. I remember signing it, guy. I remember your name now. Did you go to Amazon and write a review? Do a review for me, please. Just go to Amazon and type in Red We Met or Nobody Cares What I Did About It on Amazon site. And then just go ahead and please. I need all the reviews I can get. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, Sean. If I remember right, you did. You told me you did. So, yeah, that book really changed me. I guess Channel 2 News was right when the first in 2016, when they said, after so many years, Red We Met emerged, and they said, why? Well, of course, he's written a book, and he'll have to sell it. So you can't stay under the shadows anymore. But then again, I'm not staying under the shadows very much. A little bit, not much. But hopefully, I'll talk to Adam, and we can see if we're going to have a show on Wednesday, and with my vlog. And if he is, okay. But if he's not, I'll do what I did last week. I'll put another show. I like to bring you guys some kind of content, something that you'll be interested in. I look for things that you're interested in. You wonder if we could get Chuck Gowdy to buy a few copies. I doubt that. Chuck Gowdy, I don't know. I'm not happy with Chuck Gowdy for a lot of reasons. John Drummond was my go-to man. And Ed Marshall, who shows up occasionally. He was his boss at CBS. But it is what it is. Red, did big publishers contact you to promote my book? No, as a matter of fact, I did a favor for Simon & Schuster. They were being sued, and it was over Blue Thunder, which was about Don Arno, a cigarette boat king. And it labeled Frank Schweiss as one of the people that murdered Don. And the book was written by a man that had to go into witness protection. I mean, it was really bad. But his lawyers contacted me. And I had contacted them. And they contacted me. I was doing something on a blog that's called Miami 411. And At that time, my screen name was Red from Chicago. And I was putting in a lot of things that people were making guesses. They just didn't know. But I knew some of the things. And Scott Jennings actually found the car that was used and went back up to Fox Lake, Illinois. And the guy sold it. I think it went over in Indiana or Michigan, one of the two. And they hunted it down, and it was the car that was used. So Schweiss used that. I'm not sure the second man, but I gave all the information that I could to the blog. And then when it came time for the lawsuit, I worked with the lawyers. I was willing to stand up and explain it all to them. I was even going to take the witness stand if I had to. But when it came time, years later, the guy that I was working with eventually became the editor-in-chief of Simon & Schuster. And when I was going to write, I called him up, and he said, "I'm not interested in anything you got. I mean, we wouldn't have you." And I said, "Oh, okay." And that's when I self-published. So that's the way it is. Tommy Bridges. Thanks for your content, Red. You always do a good job. Thank you, Tommy. I really appreciate it. I really do. Don Arno is still a big topic here in mid to South Florida. Anywhere in Florida is a big topic. He was the cigarette boat king. He was the first one. That was it. Johan, how you doing, guy? You're over in Europe. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. And you pop in with a super sticker, too. That's great. Scott, they missed out on making money. You sold a lot of books. Yes, I did. I sold a little over 200. When I announced it the first time, it was a little over 270. Now it's a little over 280,000 books. But hey, I didn't have to cut any money up with them. And I kept my price down, though. When everybody was jumping their prices up, I didn't. I'm back. What happened? Good evening. Lisa by Low. Good evening. How you doing? Sorry I'm late. Listening to John Drummond along with Art Patak, Bill Crawley. Yeah, Art was different, but John was really on top of me. Good guy, very good guy. Yes, the book was very successful, and I didn't expect that. I figured maybe if I'd sold 10,000 copies, I'd be happy, but it went over bigger than that. So it was what it was. I'm glad. I'm happy. I accomplished something in life. I accomplished a lot of things in life. I wrote about things I accomplished. Yes, greetings, buddy. Your name is still hard for me to pronounce. Adam couldn't pronounce it. He butchered it. Joe Handenreiter. Joe Handenreiter. I think that's the way it goes, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Handenwriter, right? Is that the way it is? Oh, well.
Francie Brady, that butcher boy.
Bill Price, what kind of movies are made in Florida? All kinds. Okay, your name is Joe or John. So Johan is John. Is that a clip from a movie? Yes, it is. I got it from Adam. Would you like to see it again? I'll show it to you.
Francie Brady, that butcher boy.
Francis Brady, the butcher boy. Yes. I always thought it was funny. Adam gave me some funny things to say. What is he saying? He's saying Francis Brady, the butcher boy. That's what he's saying. Morris Van Zyl. You got a tough moniker there. Very tough. He's difficult to understand. I'm gonna put one on that you might be able to understand. It's this is what Adam used to tell me all the time.
Here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener. I'm doing well. I'm doing quite well. Hey, guy, what you up to? You notice the new format shows our names different. I don't know anything about. All I do is do one, and it makes 2 out of 1. So what it does, it's got a mind of its own. I think it's using AI, which I am not a fan of AI. Adam is the salty dog. Yes, he is. So anyway, folks, I want to thank all of you, each and every one of you, for coming by and checking in. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I mean, I don't think a lot of us are. But the truth of the matter is they own the company. We use their company. And you use their company to watch me and watch whatever you want to watch on YouTube. So you can't dictate to them what they're going to do with their company. Maybe they'll go broke someday and they'll go out of business. I don't know. Have a great night, Red, and everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. And God bless you. And thank everybody. Hit the like button on the way out, please. Or subscribe if you haven't. But thank you so much. And it's Red We Met. Out. Christina, God bless you, dear.
The combination of the videotapes and We Met's testimony resulted in the conviction of 2 men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.